Good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital, nightly strategy podcast for September 19th, 2023. Start with we're going to start with something out of the creativity course. This is a work in progress from Trader X. He's a pro money manager. He's been working with us for about 20 years. And we're working on a little strategy here on the 30-minute. So this is the S&P, and I'm sorry, on the 10-minute. So he's using a 10-minute chart. And what he's looking at is the S&P, and he's looking at short-term options, 0 to 3-day options. He's using either puts or calls. In this case, it was a call option. And just a quick look at his. He's got the price here. He's got a bit of a longer term here. He's got the MACD histogram. He's using a modified version of it, the 4, 30, and 5. So he gets a bit more of a aggressive turns. And he's using also a Williams percent R with the threshold set at minus 20 and minus 80. And what he noticed was that after this long downslide, there was a reversal up, and then the price actually was rolling over. So this was really, this move up coincided with a strong move from the downside to the upside in Williams percent R, and then that rolled over. The MACD was rolling over too. So all of that was pointing to an alert for an imminent, what we think of as a tidal change or a shift in the broad market tides. You can see that reflected in the green line here, how that moves from edge to edge. And then the yellow zone here represents the normal limits on Williams percent R. This was the trade not taken. So he sees a PSAR flip here. This is the trade not taken because he was on a call with some clients. But the PSAR flip happens here. You'll notice that the MACD has come through the river to the spine and then leaves the MACD histogram here. So there's actually an entry signal here. There's also one here on the 19th today when the continuation pattern happens. So either one of these he would routinely take with an exit when the percent R flips here. So he would ordinarily get this trade. The trade he did take, though, was the Williams percent R signal that reversed and was no longer overbought. It was leaving the river. The PSAR flipped, so he risks $300 as 1R. 30 minutes later, he takes an exit for a 0.8R for $241 on the single option. He was using a Williams percent R exit. He noticed that the percent R was rolling over, and it was in the abnormal overbought range. So that's normally enough to say, hey, the move was done, and it's starting to decay back to the midpoint. So he takes his 0.8. That's about as low risk a move as you could imagine. And here's here's the math on the option. So thanks to Trader X showing how he's working this on 10-minute charts, and we appreciate it. All right, back to the so that's work that's coming out of the Creativity 202 course and doing some individual coaching and a little bit of what I think of as hybrid trading. All right, we'll start now with the 30-minute hybrid swings, beginning with Alcoa. So in Alcoa yesterday, we scratched a short. Today, it opened with a gap down, so we re-implemented the short with standard risk, and that thing just collapsed. And we took the dragon exit for 2R. And then I invested one of those back in on the PSAR flip, looking for that move, because I'm seeing this thing has moved to 5-day extremes, and that's the basis of an SSC. You can see that we got two dots on the PSAR, and we got the crossover and moving into the spring. So that's just kind of a routine exit, and using markets money to fund the continuous swing trade. AI. Tried a long yesterday on the SSC. That failed, so we took about a half an hour loss. I did not stop and reverse, span of control issue, but that would have paid off. And then a 1, 2, 3 entry on the long side would have paid off, and I would have been more alert. I'd have been ready to take the long at the PSAR flip on an SSC. So not a very good execution on AI for me. Amazon, on the other hand, this was one where the span of control was kind of working, where we were short one, it gapped down and sold off, and now as it reverses, we take the dragon exit. Remember, there's the edge of your dragon right there. So when that comes down and the reversal happens, it runs into that dragon, and you get 1, 2, 3, plus 4 on this one. And then on the PSAR flip, I take one of those and just roll that into the SSC going forward. So I'm funding this one, the SSC, with markets money, bank 3, reinvest 1. Planting seeds from the harvest. Caterpillar yesterday, we were long and cashed one. That was a 2R win. Today, there was a gap down, sold off. It was about 1.5R in hand, and I ended up giving one back and just took a fractional win. I think I let too much of that go. I was not in the zero state, so I could not take the that late in the day PSAR flip. Cliff, this one. So yesterday we carried 3 short positions overnight down here. It gapped up all the way to here. So that made the third position lose. That probably negated the win on the second position. Those two net out to nothing. But we do get the full ride of +3 on this one. This was the risk that comes from carrying 3 positions overnight. It made it vulnerable. I didn't mind holding that overnight because it was below the collapsing dragon. However, that made this an SSC, so I bought that. It was well into the money, and then very poor management. I let that come all the way back for about a 0.5. That was really bad form. Then it reversed, so I'm long again with a risk box here, and this thing is working. So Not very good trade management. That's about a C minus trade. But this one was plus 3. This one was a fraction, and we're holding about 1 hour overnight. So live and learn. CVS initiated a COTA 2 here, and that's about 1 hour in hand. Dish Network tried the. I missed the morning move, which was an open here. It ran up like a scalded ape, and then sold all the way back to here, and that was a 1, 2, 3 entry on the short side. It came to the edge of the dragon, and I cashed about a 0.5. And I'm watching for this one to collapse further tomorrow because this feels like a high, a lower high, and uh, I'm watching that as a support level at 630. So if this starts to fail, I'll be short, and I'll look to add a second position here if that breaks, and then if that does break, I'm looking for it to get all the way back to the baseline. So that one I think is in play tomorrow. Devon Energy, yesterday's short was a fractional loss, or I'm sorry, fractional gain. Today I missed the short on it. This looks like it is stabilizing right here. And I'm going to be ready for the long side here on that breakout, and I'll be ready for that on the downside. Lou says this might be a 5DD. Let's see what we got here. If you think so, that's probably true. One, two, three, almost. So that's one of the issues with the 5DD, the mechanical screening of that. That one sort of breaks the chain, but you notice that it does have a really strong move off the 10-day high, and it's down here by the PSAR flip. So this one is, even though it's not quite a 5DD, this one is really in a critical state, ready to recover, but really ready to collapse below 48.50. If that collapses, that's really a high priority on the downside. So almost 5DD, but not quite. Next up is Electronic Arts. This one was a COTA 2. This was a higher low. PSAR flipped back here. It broke above the emerging dragon here. It was testing that one, so I felt pretty good about it. It was well in the money. It was about 1.5R, and man, I just let that come all the way back to the PSAR and kept about a 0.3. So that was very sloppy, very inefficient. But I let that make me a believer that I thought it was going to get to here, and I let too much of that get away. Better exit on that would have been a 1, 2, 3 exit, and the sniper, or I'm sorry, the dragon exit was right here, where the RL10 rolled over. That's kind of the peak. So this was an hour earlier was a better exit. That's about a C minus management. Emerging markets, there was a gap down collapsing dragon, so we're short here with the risk box. Here's a 1, 2, 3 dragon exit for about +1. That was better. Ethereum, no trade, although this looks promising for tomorrow. There was some buying pressure at the end of the day. I was tempted, but elected not to chase. Next one up is EWW Mexico. So yesterday was a 1, 2, 3 entry. 1, 2, 3. There's your support level. It broke above this. This was a potential second position yesterday, which we did not take. It closed very well. Today, it held support in the dragon and resumed. I waited for it to get above the RL10 peak. It was above the dragon peak already, so I consider this to be an emerging dragon second position. The 2R battle drill would have entered somewhere around in here, but that's a 4R battle drill reentry, and now it's holding +6 on the first one and +2 on the second one, so we're up about 8R on 2 positions. That one feels pretty good. We are above the risk of the RL10 peak, so that one has a lot of potential for tomorrow. If we back out of that, we'll notice that we're at the 10-day high already. The next risk or resistance is up here at 61, so that has a lot of room to go. I'm liking that one a lot. All right. Here's a case where Brazil is trading in the opposite direction from Mexico. So Mexico is very strong, but Brazil is at the peak and is collapsing, which makes Latin America problematic because half of it is going up, half's going down. So I would expect Latin America to just kind of be flat. So in this case, it's better to go with the countries rather than the region. So this is Brazil. This is it after that long chop. Couldn't hold. PSAR flips. The dragon is rolled over. That's really an owl entry. And today it opens here and just continues to drift. I'm looking to add a second position below here. I was willing to just hold one position overnight. That's a +2. And if this breaks, then I'm looking for it to return to 31.50. Intel initiated the short. That's about 1R in hand and showing weakness. International paper tried the short, missed the reversal intraday. This one I should have been better and should have gotten this here. Waited for it to come through the PSAR flip. It gave me a 1-2, kind of a 3x. I missed the dragon and finally just took it here for a fraction. Basically a scratch, not so good. IYR, much better. Yesterday's entry here on the collapsing dragon. It closed here and then today continued to sell off. I took the dragon exit for 1, 2, about +3, and no overnight risk. This also continued to roll over tomorrow, so I'm watching for it to fail below 83.50. If that does, I'll be short in a hurry, because if this collapses, it breaks below the 10-day low, and this would be a winter, spring, winter re-entry. So I'm waiting for that one on real estate. Standard half an hour on regional banks. Mattel, a scratch on the short. McDonald's, a scratch on the short, collapsing dragon. Merck, no trade. I missed that morning collapse. This was a span of control. There was a short here. There was a 1, 2, 3 entry here. But this looks weak. I think it's going to be weak tomorrow. I'll be ready for that one. Microsoft. I took that's as pure an SSC after a 5-day low as you're ever going to want to see. And can't be afraid to buy Microsoft on sale. It closed +1, so I'll be ready for this to work tomorrow. Like to see some strength in tech. Marijuana short on the collapsing dragon. That's +3, and it closed poorly. So that could be a big collapse tomorrow, especially with it being below the support level here. That's pushing to new lows. So strongly into the winter. I love that as the short. NVIDIA, no trade. Clean energy, PBW. Covered the triple short. This is one where the triple short did pay off. This is getting ready to collapse further again tomorrow. So this will be a re-entry below 33.60 or 33.50. Either one of those, this thing collapses further tomorrow. Otherwise, that could be an SSC working, but we'll be ready. That one's in play. Rivian covered the short. It was a big gap down, collapsing dragon, sold off harshly, and then I really let too much of that come back, and then took +1 on the gift, and this is getting ready to collapse further tomorrow, so we'll be ready for that one. On the other hand, if this gets above 23 and a quarter, then it feels like this is a COTA 2. So this is what the zero state looks like tomorrow. North of 23 and a quarter, I'm long. Short around 22.50. So you just play it with $1 risk and follow the price. The S&P was choppy. It was weak in the morning, made a new 5-day low. PSAR flipped and then closed strongly for net zero. And that's about as sideways undirectional as you could want. Treasuries gave back all of their gains from yesterday. It gave it all back today, and it's ready to collapse below 92. So we'll be, if you're a Treasury trader, be ready for that one. Tesla took the SSC long in the usual way after it made a new 5-day low. Can't be afraid of that one. It's got a half an hour in hand. U.S. Steel was a jumping bean. So here was yesterday's close and scratch. Today was the gap up. I took the long with the standard risk. It ran up to here and came back. So I exited for 0.5. It did. I missed the re-entry. I took the emerging dragon long. I like the fact that this is kind of this has a COTA 2 flavor to it, and I like the two legs up. Here's leg 1, and here's leg 2. So I want to give that a speculative effort tomorrow. This is the sniper trade of the day. We'll go to the 3 minutes. So here's where it closed yesterday. Today was a gap up to here. It established the opening range 3. We would be long if it got out of that. Here was the short. The second bar monkeyed around. The third bar collapsed. So we're short here with a standard risk box. Initial target down here. That's about 2R. That's just as basic and by the numbers on the OR3 as you could want. Check or hold. Just trying to get started. It comes down to 2R, so I add a second position. I take the PSAR exit. just like I'm supposed to. I mean, it had 15 bars to collapse further, and it did not. So we just happily take the exit. And that works out to about 1, 2, 3. So 3R on the first one, 1R on the second one. So the first move is about 4R. Check or hold. Re-entry on the short side on the collapsing dragon. Check or hold. Standard risk. It collapsed to a new low of the day. The VWAP is down. And we've got a little bit of markets money to work with. Take the PSAR exit for another +1. So now we're net 5. And we're getting close to the afternoon. I think that's all we did today. Yeah. So net 5. And net 5 and go home. Take a look at the traders today. Red gets a quarter of an R and a scratch here. I'm wondering what happened to us over here on the break of the dragon and the RL10. There's an emerging dragon. We should be on that one, and there's got to be an alert there. There's a Z3 pinch breakout. There's an emerging dragon above this. Somehow I feel like we got to get that move. He nets 0.8 on this series in the Aussie. Gets paid on the first one, got a little too tired, missed the follow through. We got to work on our emotional resilience and let that thing trail and gain us another couple R. He did get live cattle futures for 3R. Was too tired to re-enter. That's why we got to work on our endurance. But we probably left 10 to 15 R on hand on the market today. Or 10 to 15 R on that one. Let's see. All right, I think this is... This is George. So we're trading 30 minutes on this one. Tried the short, basically cut it fast, reasonable. Some days it's a great big trader, like you'll get paid on all of those days. Today was a day it did not follow through. I would probably go to about a 5 day so that you get a little more screen visibility on the price action, because you get a lot of everything is tightly compressed in here. Might go to a 5 day view. Quick scratch on Walgreens. Quick 1.1 gain on regional banks. Was up 2.3 at one point, so maybe we gave back too much. When you get over 2R in hand, maybe you want to, if you're going to be active, maybe drop down to 10-minute or 3-minute to fine tune that exit, because that's actually a pretty large give back. Like if I go look at KRE over here, um, yeah, this is I think I basically got the same short. I didn't get much better. So listen to me talking smack. But if you were on the, I think you get a better exit if you're maybe on the 3-minute or the 10-minute. So something to consider when you get over 2R in hand. This here's Hamad. Couple quick missing the OR3s. There's 2 to 3R available inside there. I mean, that collapse when you have such a tight compression the day before, we've got to have an alert here that gets us into that trade. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. We had the PSAR flip and an immediate sell-off. We got to get that. Pretty good job on the re-entry here, but there was 2 more legs available. And again, the PSAR flip and crushing, it feels like we should be getting more out of that one. This probably consumed all of your emotional energy. Good job recovering enough to pull this one out so that you netted 0.7 after some initial shenanigans. Like, we got to be quicker on this reversal instead of waiting for it to come all the way up here to get long in order to exit here. But I like this short. I like the shift to the long side. I'd like to see you on this one, but this is still pretty good on the Kata too. So pretty good recovery on on Rivian, I should say. British pound. There's a Kata 2 all day. There's a Z3 pinch all day. And 5-minute charts, I gotta believe that we can get this. Here's a 1, 2, 3 entry. If you're looking at the 30-minute, I feel like we got to get more focused on that one. Here's Tim, 1.7 with a quick reversal on when it breaks the VWAP and the PSAR flip. Beautiful exit for 1.7. This is Lou. Kata 2 all day, really nicely done. As nice an exit as you could want, right at the resistance, perfect. And I love waiting for the second low and then catching that if you were going to be short. But I think you took half the position and the other half. I'd like to see, if you're going to take half, I'd like to see you cut it here and then short that because you had a lower high and you got a clear owl short. But still, that nets out to about 1R total. That's pretty nice work. Jose back to his winning ways with the PSAR flip, cashing 1.2, cashing 1, cashing 1.2, so it's 3.2 plus 1.5. That's a 5R day. So just keep doing what you're doing. Nice work. And that's making money after lunch when they say you can't make money. So just keep doing what you're doing. That's really well done. All right, that's everything we got for today. We'll get this published and posted and catch you tomorrow.